uniforms. They were live last Saturday. They are not live today. Lincoln Kienholz will get the first snap today, the third-year man at the most extensive playing experience of his career over a year ago in the bowl game, the Cotton Bowl against Missouri, and he is throwing on the move, a long throw complete.
Progressions are going where you're protected in pass pro.
Here's Kienholz, a long throw, and that zips through the hands a little too high for Jeremiah Smith.
Hicks moves from linebacker to defensive end. The defensive line, it's got to take a big step here from spring to the fall.
And now Julian Sayin, the second-year man who had some light opportunity last year, takes over, and he throws complete to C.J. Donaldson, the transfer from West Virginia. Some pistol here for C.J. Donaldson. And, of course, the running back room, one that
this run game in Ohio State, it's often been based out of the pistol. Downhill, get the ball to your backs, and there we go. Nice job finding your tight end, a little corner out.
Jelani Thurman.
On the previous play, and they get into play action and open it up for Jelani Thurman.
Back to the ground, C.J. Donaldson, big hole. And he finally gets cut down in the secondary by Leroy Roker.
By the new tackle, Philip Daniels, transferring in from Minnesota.
Saying end zone shot, and it's broken up by Aaron Scott Jr. He came in with so much anticipation last year, the #2 corner defense.
Quincy Porter, Mylan Graham, these guys would start everywhere, but they're here to compete in Columbus.
Sayin throws that complete to Max LeBlanc, the tight end.
Hey, giving the opportunity.
Back to the ground. Donaldson into the leg. Touchdown, Scarlet.
It's a great drive by Julian Sayin. Run game. Give it double teams. Once again, running behind that right side of the offensive line. I believe that's number 70, Philip Daniels. Once again, washing the defensive end. And it'd be fun to play running back here in Columbus with those big-time holes.
Man, I want to play any position here. Practice, meetings, preparation, and it's really elevated and set the standard for the new faces.
There's Jeremiah Smith. He almost gets
Buckeye
glossed
receiver
over a little.
Is as good as you'll find in college football.
Sayin steps up, and there is Tate with the reception, beat Igbinosun, and he is touchdown at the 27-yard line.
Bunch of players, and I love this, they could have left but said, no, I want to be part of this program, but haven't played a ton of snaps. We see a little seam route to your tight end.
And there is Max Clare's first touchdown as a Buckeye in front of fans.
He gets lost there too, doesn't get carried in zone coverage. Really impressive. There he is right there, lined up number 86. Nice job on the release, doesn't get touched right inside. Sonny Styles, linebacker, doesn't get depth in Arvell Reese. And when you look at the last 5 seasons, there hasn't been a tight end at Ohio State that's had over 41 catches. Cade Stover had the most in 23 with 41 grabs. I think it's over 50 easy for this young man. He's so gifted.
Kienholz trying to load up, and now he's pressured into a scramble. Let's go down and make a.
Can I make another bold claim here?
Bring it.
I think Ohio State has the most athletic linebacker room in college football between Styles and Arvell Reese.
There's Jeremiah Smith. Kienholz to throw here on third down, and he loops that over the head of Smith, incomplete. It was Igbinosun in front, and with defender bearing down on him, he dumps it down to Bo Jackson. Our first look at the freshman today, the #5 running back in the nation.
A guy like Caleb Downs and Will Howard. Logan George is one of those guys helping reload the defensive line.
That cut loose and snagged by Mylan Graham. He had a couple opportunities in the end zone on catches he couldn't
Saying at
make
his best, though. Tight spiral, beautiful quick release, accurate.
And another one to the tight end, Jelani Thurman, who gets down into the red zone.
Mylan Graham drop ripped in, dart, accurate. The one to Thurman is a little bit more of a feathered, layered throw over the running back.
And it's good to see him healthy and forcing his way into the end zone for a Scarlet touchdown.
Julian Sayin's just an impressive start
in this 2025 class. 6'4", 225 freshman from just about 50 miles outside of Columbus. And you know, just like every other quarterback that comes into Ohio State, he comes in with so much of the same hype that all of his predecessors have had, maybe more. Sam Williams-Dixon, you were You spent a lot of time with him, Yogi, the Elite 11
When
camp.
Ohio State offered him and when he started his recruiting, he wasn't the prospect that he was ultimately before he stepped on campus. Ooh, that's a an interception there to another freshman.
That's right, freshman to freshman, and Delane, who's talked so much about how much he loves to hit. This is the number 5 safety in the 2025 class.
In this environment, as you learn so much, especially as a quarterback, first time playing here for him, and what a nice job Delane just jumping the route, saw it the entire time, and I'll tell you what, another guy that looks physically imposing.
Just
you talk to the staff
of eyes and was able to pick the ball off.
Kienholz will give it off to Bo Jackson, who steps through a couple tackles and a third. A flag comes in. Jackson breaks through another tackle. And, you know, when you talk about projection, his senior year, luckily no surgery was required. That ball cut loose at another catch for Mylan Graham.
Your 50 catches.
Once upon a time, Will Howard was not, and of course developed into one of the national champion. And what you're replacing here, as Kienholz connects, is 4,000 passing yards, 35 passing touchdowns, and Will Howard is down on the field.
That's what I see when I look at these things. You know, when you left this quarterback room, obviously there's some young guys out there, but you know these guys because you did a season with them. What should we expect to see out of this quarterback? Brandon Ennis.
You're going to give him the ring back? That's the real question. Keep an eye on that. Nice pass breakup there from Jalen McClain, part of that safety battle with Malik Hartford, and 14 games away from passing Urban Meyer on Ohio State's wins list. Bryson Rogers, the intended receiver
the extension will be here hopefully for the remainder of his coaching career, and I think he's one of the greater coaches, you know, in all, not only college football.
The other side of that is a receptive roster to that physicality. I mean, Ryan, you talk about all the young, talented guys. They want practice to be live. They want practice to be physical within their respective positions.
Third down and long for St. Clair. Down the sideline and incomplete. Intended for David Adolph, the fourth-year walk-on, spends a lot of time.
I got like 20 to 30 pounds to lose.
Lincoln Kienholz hands it off here to Bo Jackson, who was one of the stories of the first half. No question. The C.J. Donaldson in the first half. This will be a 12-minute third quarter with the clock up to Ryan Day. Mylan Graham off and running and gone for a touchdown.
It's an embarrassment of riches in this Buckeye wide receiver room. And Mylan Graham today would start at the majority of schools across the country. And Mylan Graham, a young sophomore, clearly sky-high limit, generating a ton of buzz this spring and really putting a stamp on this spring ball with his performance today so far.
Playing wide out in between the hashes is not for the faint of heart.
He's credit to the strength staff.
There you saw offensive coordinator Brian Hartline now on the sideline as Philip Bell, the freshman, makes that catch.
Participate on the field. They bring in Tyler Bowen, who was the play caller over at Virginia Tech. He's the head offensive line coach. I think that might be an interception
by Inky Jones. The pressure was there from Eric Mensah, and it is an interception.
That's a really nice play. Watch him just high point the ball.
Do we need Mike Pereira? No, that's clear.
I think we're good.
He's in bounds.
Yeah, I think he's the most dominant player on defense in America. I think he was drafted today. He'd be a top 5 pick. I mean, he's that special. And when you have the best player on defense in the country on your team, and you have to replace.
Would not be shocked to see him and Jeremiah Smith both competing for that trophy.
Julian Sayin taking another shot, and it is broken up. What a play from Lorenzo Styles Jr. against Mylan Graham, most productive receiver today. You know that Caleb Downs is going to love that.
It's such an impressive.
You know, maybe they would love, Ohio State would love to see an Abdul Carter type jump going from linebacker to edge.
Well, that throw uncorked and on the money from St. Clair, and coming off the right edge is Zion Grady, the freshman pass rusher. Another catch for Quincy Porter.
Be a starting corner at every school in the Big 10 and be an elite player for them. Those guys chose to come to Ohio State as we see some of that dual threat potential with Tavian St. Clair running the ball.
Those two have he experienced 4 games being around this veteran roster. I think it's one of the unsung storylines. There you see it again. What a shot from St. Clair again, back to Porter.
They're excited about him with how they're targeting him. Win at the line of scrimmage. Quincy Porter 6'4", so the ball is in a great location up top for him to go make that play.
Jake up the choke quarterback.
Getting a moment there over on the bench. I hope that he's all right. And that play is blown up immediately by Joey Velasquez. Velasquez, a rare honor, a back-to-back national champion 2 years ago.
5-star. I think he has a chance to be really, really special. But again, it's the depth behind those guys that'll be key.
Pressure up the middle that time from the walk-on Ahmed Tankara. A long try of 43 yards. And he got it. And that's great to see. You think about the year that he
train him. You have a primary position, you have a secondary position. I think it's going to be great for this offensive front as they have to go through a long season. The national championship. Then we have our first team meeting. And you remember that from a player. You get in there for the first time.
And Kienholz will give it. And the line creates plenty of space for Bo Jackson off and racing before he's finally pulled down by Malik Hartford.
There's the play unfolds.
There's your left tackle too, Onyanwa, the transfer. He's been behind some key blocks. The tight ends mixing it up as well.
Come to the NFL right now, but he wanted to come here and continue to develop. The play action.
And the touch to LeBlanc, who's got a first down and a block out in front from Quincy Porter. Good to see Porter back. Kienholz wide open out of the backfield. The running back Williams-Dixon with the touchdown.
Does a really nice job. Kienholz. Defense, what's my indicator? Watch his eyes. He knows from jump. It's man-to-man coverage. Who's on the back? He's going to beat the backer. No problem. Easy pitch and catch touchdown.
So,
little play action. St. Clair, and it's snagged by the freshman Nate Roberts for a big gain. What a great story he is. Tavian St. Clair looking the other way, and that's through the hands of Dorian Williams, but Bodpen Miller adopted
as you can.
That's right.
St. Clair pressured into a sack. A flag comes in as well.
Once for the most part. Defensively, you're finding out, can we match you strength for strength, speed for speed? So that element has been fun to watch on the line of scrimmage this game.
Been a good day for Julian Sayin so far, and he completes the first play of this drive to Quincy Porter.
And he said it was one of the greatest things that he learned as a quarterback in his entire career. Look what he did from that moment on.
Sayin into traffic, was moving deftly in the pocket, couldn't connect it with Max. 9 seconds remaining. Sayin trying to set up the screen. Defensive line recognized it, and then LeBlanc on him. Now 24 seconds.
Let's see where he goes with this. Quincy Porter down at the bottom of your screen.
So deep drop pressure, and the second sack of the series for Logan George. The defense really stepped up to the challenge in that 2-minute opportunity. Here's Philip Bell getting out of bounds. St. Clair directing traffic pre-snap. And that is caught. Nate Roberts has had a nice day. That's a first and goal. St. Clair looking that way, and instead it is Philip Bell with the catch. He beats Fahim Delane, freshman to freshman, beating a freshman for the score. For the Scarlet, which is the offense against the Gray. And zone 6, that receiver group, they were in there today.